with Keith, Ian and Andy.
Ellen Road on a big cup night. It's certainly a sellout, just short of 40,000 here. Arsenal are the visitors. Leeds versus Arsenal under floodlights. It's like the good old days. Good evening to you. Two clubs with rich histories meet for a place in the fourth round of the FA Cup. A replay only necessary after Arsenal got themselves out of prison right at the death at their place 11 days ago.
For the 8th time in history, Arsenal have been pulled out with Leeds in the FA Cup. It is a full house, it is raucous. Max Gradle's gone over, Leeds have a penalty. Snodgrass for Leeds. Leeds are at it again! Marching on together. Becchio! Great save, Szczesny. Keeps Arsenal alive. Some cup tie. Leeds have belief now. Penalty! Arsenal on the cusp of elimination. Cesc Fabregas saves the Gunners. Danielson and Schmeichel has pulled off a wonderful match-saving save. The FA Cup at its very, very best. We're going to see it all again on what will be a loud old night at Ellen Road.
Joining us for this one, a bit of a hero in these parts. A flame-haired leader at Ellen Road. They like them round here. Absolutely sublime silky skills. Look at that. And he knew how to milk it too. Go Gordon, and why not? And he lifted the last championship title before the formation of the Premier League. Gordon Strachan's here. Those shorts were terribly short that season, weren't they?
They were good, yeah. They were tricky, them. You could tell what religion you were with them on. I'll tell you.
Not leaving much to the imagination. We've got Gareth Southgate here as well. The ground hasn't changed a lot since you were plying your trade here, Gordon. You know what a big night under floodlights is like.
Listen, we've got a terrific night. We've got a smashing up-and-coming young side, playing a fantastic side in Arsenal, and a terrific venue. Everything's there for a terrific game tonight. As you said, one thing that's never changed about this place is the noise. It is incredible when it gets going. It really is incredible.
And you will have plied your trade here more than once, Gareth, as a manager and as a player.
As a player, yeah. I scored a couple of pearlers here that almost reached the back of the net.
Yeah.
So I wasn't very popular, but no, I mean, I live in Yorkshire. It's a special place. I would say among the most passionate fans, and as we saw at the Emirates, the away support that they take everywhere is phenomenal. So it is. I mean, people talk about sleeping giants. This is a Premier League club in everything but status of where they are at the moment.
And one of your teammates from that great Leeds side that won the title, Eric Cantona, now director of soccer at New York Cosmos. Does he strike you as being the ideal for management, taking a holistic view of the club?
Well, I don't know about his social skills and interacting with people, that's for sure. That could be a problem. And I think the first time anybody says no to him, he could be back on the flight back to France.
Right.
But if you want to have a high profile at your club, then he's magnificent. He has an aura about him and a presence that he wasn't great at interacting with people, that's for sure.
Let's have a look at today's team. Shall we start with the visitors? What do you make of this one, Gareth?
Well, it's a similar team to the one that played in the first game, and I think no Walcott, no Fabregas in particular. And it's interesting because they lost the first leg of the League Cup semi-final last week. They're still involved in the Champions League, but they're still desperate to win a trophy, and Arsene will want to do that this season. So he's put a team that he thinks is strong enough to win this game, and when you look at the quality that's there, they certainly are, but by no means guaranteed tonight.
And a Leeds side that Ellen Road has fallen in love with, gradually getting them back up to where most people acknowledge they belong. What do you make of this lot, Gordon?
Well, there's a squad here, and he changes it now and then. De Vecchio usually plays, and I think he's been terrific for them. I've not seen much of Painter, but the teams like Simon. Simon, as a young man, was a hard-working fella. Wanted to learn the game, wanted to work hard, everything he did, because I played with him a few times. I also coached him, and the team is exactly the way he is as a person. They're functional, they want to get on with things, they want to learn, they want to get better, and that's Simon, and that's his team. And if he gets up, and I hope they do get up, and he adds to that, then I'll be a force again.
Okay, when we return, we'll catch up on last night's FA Cup action, where we had Man City, Wolves and Stoke all seeing off championship opposition. We'll be back shortly. Third round cup replay at Ellen Road. Just love this place. You can feel the hand of footballing history on your shoulder. Nothing fancy, bit rough round the edges, but a proper old football ground. Kick-off, Leeds versus Arsenal, is at 8 o'clock. This year's third round only produced 4 replays, 3 of which took place last night. Tom Skippings has the story of those ties.
Manchester City emerged in the red and black stripes of the 1969 Cup final win over Leicester in honour of their match winner that day, Neil Young, recently diagnosed with cancer. With Sky Blue restored, they faced a more recent figure from their past.
Carlos Tevez. All the way through! What a goal! Lloyd Dyer. The ball came from the... Oh! Marcos is given a penalty! I was about to say the roar came from the other end of the ground and none of the Leicester players, bar Dyer, showed much interest. Composing himself now is the one man in the Leicester team who has scored against City before. It's Paul Gallagher, and it's 1-1. Tevez, Zabaleta, and Silva. It's Vieira who touches it in. Johnson from an onside position makes it 3-1. And Leicester's FA Cup run may have been ended by 2 goals in the space of barely a minute. And Tevez, onside, quick look at the linesman, now look at the goalkeeper, then a trip, and a penalty kick. And Jack Hobbs faces the music. Chris Wheel, the goalkeeper. Carlos Tevez straight down the middle, and Wheel has his own moment, which he can savour in years to come. The day he saved a Tevez penalty. Here's Dyer. Oh, Dyer's in! Dyer scored! Leicester are still alive in the FA Cup. Kolarov with that hammer of a left foot seals the tie for Manchester City.
Mick McCarthy had described this replay as a game he could do without, and the Wolverhampton faithful agree with him. Just over 10,000 at Molineux, but from the moment Stephen Fletcher headed them in front, those who'd made the effort got their reward. They had to wait a while, though, mainly because Jeffrey Majangi-Bia needed a few sighters before managing his first goal for the club just past the hour. But the 21-year-old's determination rubbed off on his teammates, several of whom were certainly glad they came by full time. Kevin Doyle is clearly recovering well after his recent injury. And then everyone in black and gold fancied their chances. Matt Jarvis came off the bench to score his first goal for 3 months. And in stoppage time, he picked out Dave Jones, who hadn't scored since the first day of the season. Small crowd, but Wolves' biggest win for 8 years. Wolves will face Stoke in round 4 after Premier League completed the hat-trick over Championship on the night, and Welshman Tony Pulis enjoyed a happy trip home, eventually.
Flick at the near post, it's in! Walsh has scored! Breakthrough for Stoke City within 60 seconds of the start of extra time. And here's space now for Walters. Cardiff undone. Walters, good keeping. He'll get another opportunity, and he scored. Jonathan Walters sends Stoke City into the fourth round for sure. It's second goal of extra time.
So, with the one obvious exception, Arsenal Leeds, the draw for the fourth round of the FA Cup sponsored by Eon is just about complete. A couple of all Premiership ties you'll see in there. And Wolves and Stoke, having seen off Doncaster and Cardiff respectively, get to play each other. Man City are away at Notts County. Our live game on Saturday week, the fourth round, will be Southampton against Man United. ITV1 and ITV1 HD will be starting at 4:45 for kick-off at 5:15. Following day at Meadow Lane, lunchtime for Notts County versus Man City. Very much look forward to that one too. In that game of Man City last night, we saw Tevez missed the penalty, or at least have it saved. His technique was all wrong. He should have done what Gallagher did. What's this all about? Gordon, you have to take penalties.
I did, yeah. And if it works, it's good. It's like comedy. If you get a laugh, it works. But and he drives it. I mean, that's a man determined not to be in a pizza advert.
I was going to say, why didn't you come to me with that question?
But you think, but in technique-wise, if you turn quickly, you're somewhat disorientated for a moment.
I think sometimes when you're standing there, the goalie puts it, you're looking at the goal and he's looking at you, and he tries to outsight you at that moment. You might as well turn away from him and make sure you're not looking at him. So that can put people off. You've seen goalies walking up to you, playing about the ball, looking at you again. You just turn away, then turn around. You knew what he was going to do. He just got to smack it. I worry about the people who take that shot, a couple of 3 steps.
Yeah.
I think that's the worst penalty. You know, you have to be supremely confident to do that. But that works.
But you scored loads and loads, didn't you? And then I think you told me once you missed one, and then it's like, then you slightly...
I missed 2 in the trot.
Yeah.
And I said to Ron Atkins, I'm not doing this again. I really don't want to do it. And he says, fine, anybody want to take it? Jasper Olsen says, yeah, I'll take it. First minute against Everton, he got brought down, 60,000 people there, and he went, I'm not taking it. And everybody looked at me and I thought, I'll take it again. And then I produced the worst penalty ever seen at Old Trafford, where actually Neville Southall had to walk forward and pick it up. So it can get in your mind.
Yeah.
I recovered after a bit of therapy and I started taking them here again.
I'm glad it turned out nicely. Just 2 wins in 14 FA Cup meetings with Arsenal. Not a great return for Leeds, but they did come out top in an important one, the 1972 Centenary Cup final, beating the Gunners 1-0.
Jones now for Leeds. And McNabb only half stopping him. Jones getting it across, and Clark going in, and Alan Clark has put Leeds ahead. The cup goes to Billy Bremner and Leeds United. And that magnificent defender, Norman Hunter, Eddie Gray. Well, the man who scored the goal has got the cup, Alan Clark.
Eddie, we'll start with you. Memories of that day?
Yeah, I mean, I thought we were the better side on the day. I mean, it was always a difficult game against the Arsenal. And it was settled with a great goal for Alan. I mean, great cross for Mick Jones. And Alan knocked in the back of the net, which is something you'll always cherish. I mean, it's a great occasion, FA Cup final, probably more important then than it is now. But it was fantastic for our club and for the city of Leeds.
Alan, a great cross, wasn't it? But you had plenty to do to get the ball in the back of the net after that.
Well, I did, but John, as I say, he went past Bob McNabb and crossed it, and I actually thought when the ball was coming into the box that I was going to volley it, a right foot volley, and I fancied my chances, but we sort of got about 10 yards from me and he started to dip, and I thought it's not going to get to me, and you've not got that long to make your mind up, and I sort of dived, and as I say, the rest is history.
And of course, to both of you this really, I mean, a massive occasion in the history of this great club, but you look at the atmosphere tonight in this capacity crowd against the Arsenal again, and in some ways, the FA Cup's still right there, isn't it?
Oh, it is. I mean, I remember when I took over for Alan and manager of the club in the early 80s, we played 3 games against them in the FA Cup. We drew at Highbury, we brought them back here at Ellen Road and scored in the last minute to go 1-up, and they scored with the last kick of the ball when they won the toss to play at Highbury, the 3rd game, and they beat us there 2-1. Some great occasions against them, but the atmosphere tonight will be sensational. I mean, the Leeds United fans, wherever they go, they travel at home, they make plenty of noise. Be a bit of shock tonight, I think, for a few of the Arsenal players.
And given what you saw, Alan, from the first match a few days ago, do you think that this current Leeds team have got it within them to beat Arsenal tonight?
Well, it's the FA Cup, and as I say, every year, even in our era, you get shocks. So there's been shocks this season. Stephen had beaten Newcastle, and I think Sunderland lost at home. So it's the FA Cup, anything can happen, and our lads put up a great performance in the first round at the Emirates. But the best team doesn't always win an FA Cup match, so I just hope that there'll be great atmosphere. I mean, our fans, as I say, they're second to none. I think that it's not as soon as we can get back in the Premiership. If someone told me tonight to say that, well, we'll lose tonight, but this football club will be in the Premiership, I'll take that now. And let's beat Arsenal when we're in the Premiership.
Absolutely. Thanks to both of you, gents. Cheers.
Thank you.
And in the middle of tonight's programme, that classic FA Cup shot of Alan Clark. Alan and Eddie Gray both went on to manage Leeds United. After the break, we'll hear the thoughts of the current Leeds boss, Simon Grayson, as well as his Arsenal counterpart. Welcome back to Ellen Road, third round cup replay between Leeds and Arsenal. Kick-off about 10 minutes away. Unusual to see the ground so full. A full 10 minutes before we get going. A great sight, just sort of 40,000 here. It's going to be brilliant. Let's hear from both managers. Been talking to Ned Bolton.
Well, Austin, that was quite a game at the Emirates that's brought you back here, but outside of the Premier League, this is probably one of the hardest grounds and one of the hardest teams to face midweek on a night like this, isn't it?
It is traditionally, yes, but we are prepared for it, and you don't expect any present when you come to Leeds with a qualifier for the FA Cup. So we expect them to give everything, and on our side we can only prepare ourselves to give everything as well.
And of course, Simon, there'll be those who will be disappointed that you didn't do the business down at the Emirates. You were so close after all, but nonetheless, this is a hell of an occasion, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously we're slightly disappointed, but it's a fantastic arena to play tonight. We've got 40,000 here. Chairman's rubbing his hands that we've got a replay and got extra revenue coming to the football club. These are the nights that every footballer should be proud to play in, and hopefully our players can go and do themselves justice again.
Do you expect them to give you the same kind of game that they gave you at the Emirates, or will they be even more positive? Because they hardly sat back there, did they?
You never know. I feel it depends as well. If we score the first goal, they have to come out, do a wait for us. But I expect them to close us down and try to make life difficult for us and be positive, because in the first game, you cannot reproach Leeds not to have tried to go forward. Every time they could, they attacked.
They've got to play with the head as well as the heart. It's a big game and the crowd will be anticipating us to go and try and put a lot of pressure on Arsenal, but you've got to make sure that you're playing with your head, because you lose your composure and your calmness, Arsenal can pick you off at any given moment, and they've got a good team out tonight, and that's respective of what we achieved down at the Emirates.
We are focused, relaxed and focused, especially focused, but we have the needed confidence to go here, but we know that this is a hard place with a heated atmosphere certainly tonight, and we have as well not only to be committed but as well to be calm and not get nervous.
That's what the two managers have to say for themselves. Leeds United then today, missing Becchio. Will that be a big miss for him, Gordon?
I think so. I think he upsets people. And I think one way, and it's legal, but you can't, if you want to try and upset Arsenal somewhere. And I think what happened in the first leg is they tried to push up the park, Leeds United, and get after them, which was brave, which is great. And I'd like to have seen him, because he can't put people under pressure with sheer hard work, and he's no mug as a footballer either.
Yeah, Gareth?
Yeah, well, I think for Leeds, in the first game, the two centre-backs in particular, Bruce and O'Brien, as Gordon says, the whole team pushed up the field, which meant that those two had to be exceptional on the day. O'Brien, they've just completed his permanent signature from Bolton. His experience will be crucial. And Bruce, who had a tough time at Ipswich really, but here he seems to have settled really well, and they were an excellent partnership in that first game. I mean, here you see Bruce in the first 10 minutes set his stall out with his aggression, his reading of challenges, and throughout in the air and on the ground, their interceptions, they're covering for each other. the timing of their challenges was outstanding, and when you bear in mind the quality of players they were up against and the quality of players they'll be up against again tonight, then they're going to have to do exactly the same. But you see again, even the faintest of touches and their clearances, the pair of them were spot on. Good, solid professional Andy O'Brien. Great lad to have in your dressing room.
Gordon, looking at Arsenal, Danielson says he's been misquoted, but the gist of it was that there wasn't enough leadership on the pitch for Arsenal. Do you sense a lack of leadership here? I mean, and Fabregas is the one who take that badly, although he's not.
But you need a shouter and it's something to drive it. And a captain usually comes into play when people are lacking concentration, lacking motivation, don't know the game, and the captain. But I think this team have been brought up in a way that you're self-motivated. You learn the game, you've got a drive and you've got ability. I really don't think they need that captain screaming and bawling all the time.
OK. We can't really hear ourselves think here, I must say. When Ellen Road is full, the fans here are loud and extremely proud.
Nights like this can never be routine. Nights like this are raucous and raw. This is the real thing. Vocal encouragement for Leeds United.
The teams are on their way out. Good old-fashioned tunnel, that. Look at the brickwork. Can't have changed much since Don Revie's day, I wouldn't have thought. Leeds United versus Arsenal coming right up. Welcome back to Ellen Road. Leeds United versus Arsenal in the FA Cup, sponsored by Eon. Fantastic, rousing rendition of their song going on here. Let's join our commentators. Andy Townsend alongside Peter Drewley.
One city, one club. You know when you're in Leeds. Last quick check of the teams indicates that both sides, having cruised their league assignments at the weekend, Leeds make one notable enforced change since the Emirates. Becchio failed a test on his troublesome back this morning. Big Billy Painter deputises up front. Arsenal have Bakary Sagna back from suspension, and by comparison with the first game, it's Koscielny for Schillaci at centre-half, Nasri for Rosicki in midfield. That is 5 of Saturday's Arsenal team. Samir Nasri will provide that notional leadership this evening. From a creative viewpoint, he is the point of difference for Arsenal as compared with a week and a half ago. Billy Painter, 29 goals for Swindon Town last season, 4 of those against Leeds. He is still to score 4 leads because of an injury-plagued start to his career here. But here is his platform. We have the scrutinised referee of the most recent Premier League weekend, that is Mike Dean. His dismissal of Raphael at Spurs and all that followed it has stoked the freshest refereeing debate. There really is little, if anything, in English football which compares on this scale for volatility, for volume, for sense of occasion, for menace, for near tangible thrill and expectation. Ellen Road, knockout football, floodlights, VIP visitors. It's a cup tie with chemistry, Andy.
Certainly is, Peter. Looking forward to this one. I thought the first time Simon Grayson's Leeds team were excellent collectively, kept their shape well. They didn't make it easy for the Arsenal. They found it very difficult.
And Gradle is quickly on for it and getting a shot away.
As Max Gradle did exactly there. They unsettled him in that first game at times. As certainly as we saw last night in the Manchester City-Leicester game. Leicester gave a good account of themselves, very competitive over the 2 legs. Now that Leeds are going to need to reproduce what they did at the Emirates and find a bit more, add another little bit to it.
It was Max Gradle for Simon Grayson, who cut in from that flank at the Emirates and earned the penalty from Danielson's clumsy challenge, which took Leeds to the very edge of a famous victory then. Fabregas's late equalising penalty, though, offers another potentially famous night for someone. This is Snodgrass. far as Koscielny. And here is Jury. Sanya after a 3-game enforced rest. Song. Shamak. Gibbs, who returns at left back. He'll play at West Ham on Saturday. And for both clubs, really, the weekend couldn't have offered a gentler preparation. Leeds cruised past Scunthorpe here. West Ham barely offered any threat to Arsenal's sense of progress. And Bradley Johnson is over this free kick for Leeds with a new target in Billy Painter, starting only his 3rd game in the first team, got injured pre-season. Had a stop-start beginning here. Aimed at O'Brien. Just too much on it.
I think that's an interesting area tonight. Billy Painter, big night for him to try and disrupt the centre of that Arsenal back four. Because Becchio, with his movement, he does. So they're going to miss that, so they've got to get support up to him. And interestingly to see that Snodgrass out on the right-hand side, Peter. Sanchez Watt in behind Billy Painter as well. So with his threat and his running ability from just in behind Arsenal's midfield, that's an important area tonight.
It has always been the case when Leeds are doing well that Ellen Road has been a nasty old place for opponents to come to. Leeds are 7 games unbeaten on this ground since Cardiff won here in October. They've only lost 1 game anywhere in the last 15. Having said which, Saturday's win here was their first this side of Christmas. Shelny away. Judgment by Johnson. It's Bentler who's operating from the right-hand side for Arsenal again tonight, as he did in the original game. So Nielsen, it's good industry from Painter. That's the way to get the crowd on side. Stabbed through by Connolly. And across comes Koscielny, gets a kick for his pains from Howson. Connolly. And Painter, but Sanchez Watt hasn't given up. Koscielny's partial clearance. It's come for Gradle. Koscielny made good his original hesitancy.
Yeah, good start from Leeds. Just wouldn't settle there for Max Gradle, so he could get that volley away, but positive early few moments.
Koscielny taking on Connolly, who is calm. O'Brien clear. Gibbs tied at the back of Gradle.
As Simon Grayson said before the game, you have to get the balance right tonight. They know they're at home. Yes, they want to get forward and they want to push and threaten the Arsenal players, but they've also got to be very careful, very mindful, particularly with Samir Nasri playing. He's so quick across the ground. Once he gets beyond the midfield players running at the Leeds back four, they're going to be in trouble. Have to keep an eye on him.
Dispossessed by Jury. To Nielsen. Sanya. Shamak let it roll. Nasri couldn't take it on. O'Brien picking up where he left off a week and a half ago with immaculately calm reading. This is through by Gibbs for Shamak. Arshavin. Shamak. Nasri's in here for Arsenal and scores. That's the difference. Samir Nasri with a dash of class and considerable calm establishes a first lead in the tie for Arsenal at Ellen Road.
Fabulous goal, Peter. They pinched the ball there in their own half. It's a decent ball in from Gibbs to Shamak, who drops it back. Look at Nasri on his way. He's been allowed to just drift off at Johnson, and then he doesn't panic. He just takes it in his stride, he just adjusts, he just takes a touch, and then he coolly rolls it past Kasper Schmeichel. It's a brilliant, brilliant finish. And this guy just gets better and better the more you see him. It's a fabulous goal.
Arsenal's player of the year, almost beyond question, scores his first ever FA Cup goal, and in so doing effects the essential part of plan A for Arsene Wenger, which was to nick an early goal and require of Leeds to come out and at some point chase the tie.
And pretty much from nowhere. The opening few minutes, Leeds have been positive, they've been pressurising, they've been, as I said, trying to put the Arsenal players under a lot of pressure, but that guy, once he gets beyond these midfield players and he's running and the ball rolls into his path as it did, he is so calm and so cool and so composed in those tight areas. We've seen him do it 3 or 4 times this season in the Premier League, and once again here tonight. It's a brilliant finish.
Shavin, Nasri, Shamak's after it, and he got there before O'Brien. And he set it back for Nasri. Gibbs, Nasri, Song, Denilson, Bentner. Arsenal now with the assurance of a lead. On the ground where 50 weeks ago tonight Tottenham came for a similar sort of occasion in the 4th round of the Cup and scored the first goal also through Jermaine Defoe. Becchio got Leeds an equaliser that evening before Defoe completed his hat-trick and took the tie away. So Leeds are hoping to feed off similar sort of energy here. Nasri breaking through Gradle's challenge. Here's Bentner, Sanya outside of him. His delivery is deflected behind for a corner.
As ever, Bakary Sanya always willing to make the overlap. He just offers it there to Bentner, who declines and looks to just clip it in, but gets the corner. Important, obviously, when you've conceded a goal against a side like Arsenal, so good in possession, that you just perhaps tuck your wide midfielders in a little bit and just make sure that you're secure for the next 5 or 10 minutes or so. Leeds have got plenty of time to get back into it. What they mustn't do is throw it away too soon.
Nasri's outswinger, Shamak's header is harmless. Drew a goal, the Moroccan. He's 7 without one since scoring at Villa Park at the end of November.
He's good in the air, does offer him something different, certainly. But this is the goal, Peter. It's a decent ball in good take from Shamak. Shavin then fires it first time, little nick there. But once Nasri, he's still got a lot to do. He's still under a lot of pressure. It's just a wonderfully executed goal.
Nasri was entirely rested for the first game between these two, didn't even make the 18. But he has made himself the difference as captain here tonight. Song. Decent ball for Gibbs. Connolly's across to meet him. Gibbs has got away from Connolly, and here is Shamak. And shot repelled as far as Watt. All of this, incidentally, for the right to play at home to Huddersfield Town in the 4th round. Here's Sanya, who was threatening to rip up Ben Parker there, and Leeds left back.
Not sure exactly whether or not Ben Parker intended that. I think he's just turning, trying to run after that. He just cuts across Sanya a wee bit there and just catches his heels. Saw Rafael get sent off at the weekend for something rather similar.
By that referee?
Yeah.
Had a good game most of the afternoon at the Emirates the other week, Ben Parker. Then Theo Walcott came on and rather spoiled it for him. Nasri's take, Shamak! Oh, what a save that is! And Schmeichel's behind it a second time. That is a brilliant save.
A fabulous save. How on earth Shamak's got that much room, I do not know. Because, as I said, he's very, very good in the air. But it's a brilliant save from the goalkeeper. Not only getting a hand on it, but banging it right up in the air, buying him a bit of time to get back on his feet. Top stuff that is from Schmeichel.
He poured it out. It's dangerous to make these comparisons, but Pele and Banks, it was that sort of thing.
Great save. That really is an excellent bit of work. Be a little bit more concerned about the marking for sure, because that's not good enough. Far too much room there for Shamak, too easy.
Did make Critical saves at the beginning and the end of the original tie, Schmeichel from Danielson after the equaliser, you'll recall. And indeed early in the game, 1-on-1 from Arshavin. Gibbs, Shamak. Won by Painter. Up for Gradle. Face to face with Sanya. Here comes Juru. And here's Song. Shavin. Led by Parker, chased up though by Sanya. Nasri. To Nilsson. Song. It's reached Arshavin. Challenge by Connolly was considered fair, and the full-back's indication was that he believed the Russian took a deliberate tumble.
A little bit fortunate there, Connolly, because Arshavin just nipped inside him, dangerous area.
Well won by Painter. Offloaded by Sanchez Watt, who ran into traffic. Song can bring it away. Arshavin can turn. Shamak. Arshavin, that time he has been fouled by O'Brien.
Again, the movement is so difficult for Leeds to contend with. Andy O'Brien already has been dragged out of that central position. He doesn't want to vacate that too often because he knows someone else is going to be running in there behind him.
Entry for Gibbs to deliver. Taken away by Watt, but then rather oddly represented to Bentner. There's Nasri, here's Juru. Nasri hasn't stopped. Michael's got to gather.
Lucky, again, looking for something in very, very tight areas. It's not easy to handle. The ball come flying at Juru a little bit. He couldn't just quite drop it in for the skipper tonight, but that's the obvious threat that Leeds have to contend with. Sami Nasri dropping in, he's on the ball 1 minute, then he's drifting in behind Housen and Johnson, dragging Bruce and Andy O'Brien out of that hole, as I said, and that's when it starts getting difficult. They're so good in possession, so comfortable. Once they start moving you around as well, you have to be very careful.
Song. Arshavin. O'Brien got in the way. Snodgrass. Painter, big strong lad. Snodgrass, Watt. Throws down by Juru. Parker safe. Arsenal's first game this at Ellen Road since a cup tie in January 2004 when they recovered from an early error by Jens Lehmann. Mark Viduka scored the goal and cruised to a 4-1 win. That was the season of Arsenal's Premier League invincibility and Leeds' disintegration and relegation. Arsenal also won here 4-1 in the Premier League that year and 5-0 at Highbury. Thierry Henry on his own scored 7 times against Leeds that season. Koscielny, Gibbs, Danielson, Nasri, Arshavin, offside Bender.
Nicholas Bentner, he's just wandered a little bit. He doesn't want it first time from Arshavin. Needs him to just take a touch while he finds his position. This is the save. Kasper Schmeichel, look, totally unmarked. Shamak, but that's a brilliant stop. That really is. It's always difficult to pick it up when it zips off the surface. That really is good goalkeeping.
To Nilsson. Nasri again, making merry. Couldn't pick out Bentner. Painter is a lone runner for Leeds.
He's up against Jura as well tonight, and Koscielny, both of them are quick, very quick across the ground, so anything that leads forward into Painter has got to be accurate. It's got to give him a chance to hang on to it so he can get people to join in.
For Nielsen. Johnson couldn't take it. Watt can. So Juru is correctly stationed again. Sol. Chesney in pink for Arsenal tonight. He had his moments in the first game too. There's happy memories of this ground where he performed admirably for Brentford last season. Gibbs. Song. Nasri. Shot charge down and Gradle charges out. Watt is ahead of him. Gradle again. Only Painter in the middle. It's aimed at and beyond Billy Painter. Snodgrass is chasing it up. Gibbs can sort it out.
Lucky though. It's good counter-attack from Leeds there. Mopped it up. Watt and Gradle down that left side. Nice and quick and positive early.
All of this played in front of a backdrop of endless, relentless, seamless din. Swirling Leeds scarves. Regardless of the scoreline, the Leeds public are not going to have their occasion taken away from them. And this is so unambiguously Leeds.
18 minutes in, Peter. I'd just like to see Robert Snodgrass maybe try and get a little bit more of the ball. At the moment, everything that comes to him is like that. He can only just help it round the corner. Because I think he can play, I really do. Every time I see him play, it impresses me. Housen I like as well, but he's got his work out, trying to deal with Nasri and co, but Snodgrass could be important.
Bentner running at Parker. He stayed on his feet well and was immaculate in his timing of the tackle, but Gradle kept it in for Bentner, and now Shamak, and now Nasri, and then Arshavin leaning back and lifting over.
Good one-touch football again, not easy when it's coming across your body. Max Gradle, not a good decision. He tries to keep that in, he hands it straight to Bentner. Again, one touch again, Nasri to Arshavin, and just leans back a little bit and sees it fly over the bar. But very impressive again, the visitors, their football, the quality of it, composure when they have the time, they use it well. When they need to go one touch and pick people out, there's no better team.
Gradle out muscled by Bentner. Shamak kept it from O'Brien, fed it to Sanya, who can run at Parker. Shamak. Arshavin. Oh!
Fabulous ball from Shamak. It's a brilliant ball. He's having a look. Who do I give it to? There it is. There's the delivery, and he just sort of dabs his right foot at it. Arshavin, it's a huge chance. I mean, if he goes with his left foot and gets any sort of connection, surely he finds the back of the net.
Illustrative, though, of how things are going for Andre Arshavin at the moment. Things ain't quite what they used to be where he's concerned. Snodgrass. His pass went wrong. Arsenal Loney given permission to play in the original and indeed the replay tie. Sanchez Watt, who scored his first Leeds goal against Scunthorpe. Terrific goal it was. Left-footed bluter from outside the penalty area on Saturday here. Painter. He's just rising back onto his feet. Here's Housen. He skippers the team with such visible pride. Gradle. Bentner lost it to Johnson. Bruce. That's Bruce again, really excellent at Arsenal. He's got it back from Painter. Snodgrass. Backed in towards Billy Painter. And up goes Watt, away by Koscielny, and chased out by Nasri, who has been so busy and penetrative in the first 20 minutes here. And Shavin to Nielsen. And Shavin, decent try, another good save, plunging at his near post by Schmeichel.
It's a good effort from Andreas Shavin. Again, a great run from Samir Nasri, who's just as quick across the ground without the ball as he is with it. Fantastic effort again, another good save. It's not easy because when it's just swerving away from the goalkeeper, hits the floor just in front of him.
Kasper Schmeichel keeping Leeds alive. Nasri's take. Shamak going in for it again, but beaten to it. It's behind for another corner. Bruce with Juru in his sights. Johnson closest to Shamak. Parker dealing with Koscielny. Away by Painter. And again by the centre forward, and out comes the skipper now, Howson. And here the Leeds public scream him on. Gibbs saw the danger and snuffed it out. O'Brien. So for Arshavin. Shamak couldn't take it. Out comes Parker. Watt. Sanya sharp enough. It's a well-controlled back pass. Leeds haven't played here since 2004, means that almost all of them as individuals haven't played here. I mentioned Szczęsny kept goal for Brentford here. Nicholas Bentner scored a goal here for Birmingham in the Championship. But for the rest of them, the Leeds experience is a new experience. So they're dealing with it very ably. Here's Nasri. Song. Bentner, seen by Bruce. On by Howson, Snodgrass hemmed in. And Snodgrass tackled by Song. Shavin. Song. There's too much of Nasri.
It's better shape though there, Leeds have. I thought in the first game they did that particularly well. The back four, the central two, Houghton and Johnson were very good, very solid. And they're going to have to do that again tonight, Peter, against this team that, as I said, are that good in possession. What you can't do is go hunting after it in just ones and twos. You've all got to be very, very clued in and make sure you're doing it together, because they'll pick you off very, very easily with devastating effect.
Snodgrass. By Juru as he tumbled. High from Koscielny. In went Connolly, on again by Snodgrass. Juru hasn't put a foot wrong yet. And Danielson clear. By Shamak for Nasri. Shamak again. Partially out by Johnson, only as far as Danielson. Sanya with Bentner wide. Shavin. Bentner. To Nielsen. Nasri. Smashing ball from Koscielny, and Sanya's in behind here for Arsenal, and Bentner has failed to apply the stud, which would have doubled Arsenal's lead.
Great ball from Koscielny, what a pass that is. It's far too easy how Sanya gets in, they haven't got it right. Parker and Gradle over there on the left-hand side, he's got all the room in the world, he could shoot, you know, could actually have a go for himself. I mean, that is what Arsenal do time and time again, they face it across the 6-yard box. Any touch from Bentner, and that's a goal. Just wonder there whether the fullback could maybe have just had a go on his own.
Back dealing with Gradle, having played, as you say, Andy, probably the pass of the tie so far. Wonderfully driven diagonal to open up Leeds. Leeds, who in the first half hour or so here haven't been able to achieve the forward thrust that they brought to the original tie. And that, I guess, Andy, is because Arsenal are playing pretty much according to their blueprint. They're dealing with this cup tie exactly as they would have planned.
Certainly are, they're playing beautifully. They've got the goal, and of course they're happy to receive the ball in tight areas, invite the challenge, invite the pressure, and then bang bang, just drop it off and move. They do it so well, so instinctively, so naturally. Very like this is very, very difficult. You want to get tight to people, but you're afraid to, because they've gone past you in a flash.
Shavin. It's out for Howson. And then Watt, picked off by Gibbs. Shamak, Nasri, Bentner, Nasri, Song, Gibbs, Arshavin. Away by Parker. Leeds are really struggling to get a foothold in this cup tie, and they're grateful to have that free kick for the foul on Painter by Juru.
Yeah, it's very difficult because you're doing that much chasing around that when you get the ball yourself, gasping for breath and almost don't have the lung power to get higher up the park. Just got to stay in the game at the moment. These rocky periods when Arsenal look very, very cool. Just stay together, hang in there, keep your shape as they did at the Emirates. As I said, they did that very, very well, and they've got to do that here, even though they're at home. Stay in the game. At 1-0, you're always in it.
They are still in the game because their goalkeepers made two terrific saves. Arshavin and Bentner have been half an inch away each from scoring. Could be beyond them, but it's not. In by Bruce, out by Koscielny, on by Arshavin, through again by O'Brien. Juru's leaping. Johnson's header, flick back by Arshavin, and boy, Szczesny had to be alert.
Very alert, Peter. Does excellent, the goalkeeper there, because he's had nothing to do. He's been a spectator up to now, but he was nice and sharp and lively there. Gradle very nearly getting on the end of it. Good work.
Nasri. Well done, Alex Bruce. Howson, Painter. Connolly. Snodgrass. He's protected the ball really well there, but over the nose of the referee's assistant, who felt it went out. So we can point you at our fourth round action in the Eon-sponsored FA Cup, coming up weekend after next. Two smashing ties, one on Saturday evening. We're on at 4:45 with Southampton against Manchester United, Saturday the 29th, and then another real lip-smacker on Sunday lunchtime from 1:30. We're at Meadow Lane for Notts County against Manchester City. Two genuine, proper FA Cup ties to look forward to on this channel in a week and a half's time. Simon Grayson, the reigning Championship Manager of the Month, who was especially pleased with his team's reaction against Scunthorpe here on Saturday. You'll recall after they played Manchester United last year, they took a terrible dive in league form, but didn't succumb to the same temptation this time. Arshavin, Connolly with a risky back pass. Schmeichel gave it a thump. Snodgrass won his header, and so did Koscielny. Johnson. Song. Bicep to bicep with Howson, and the referee's given a free kick Leeds way.
Yeah, good work again from Jonathan Howson, battling away with Alex Song.
Howson's quick free kick, lively of mind. Snodgrass. He's had an ambitious go, perhaps a shade unrealistic.
Yeah, it's important though that he does maybe just fire the odd one across Szczesny's bows now and again like that. Again, he's not really had a chance to lift his head and maybe even assess where the goalkeeper is, but he knows roughly where the goals are, hits it well enough.
Long from Howson. Painter. Gibbs stuck tight to him. Painter protected it for Connolly. And his pass was seen by Shamak. Nasri. Sanya. Danielson. Scampering away from Sanchez Watt. Shamak. Arshavin, Connolly backpedaling. Arshavin to the byline. And O'Brien at his near post station, and Snodgrass can bring it clear. Shape an imaginative pass for Gradle. And again, Koscielny is properly switched on.
It's a decent ball down the line, that is from Snodgrass. Good run again from Gradle, but Koscielny at the moment, unflappable. He's just taking everything in his stride, nice and cool and composed.
Koscielny playing his first ever FA Cup tie. Competition debut for him tonight, and an immaculate one to this point. Song. Good length from Schmeichel. Sure, he bumped into the back of Painter. He's come out for Bentner, who again has Sanya going beyond him. Nasri ahead of him, Shamak ahead of him, Arshavin ahead of him. He's fed Nasri. Bentner kept going. O'Brien away, only as far as Bakary Sagna, who has hit a screamer. Fantastic goal from Bakary Sagna for Arsenal. A genuine net ripper.
Well, I questioned the last opportunity Bakary Sagna had when he got into the box and decided to knock it across the 6-yard box for Nicholas Bentner. Not this time. Not any danger of it. When it comes to him here, he has a look, nothing really there, so it's head down and hit it, and he really catches it. And Schmeichel's made some good stops. He'll be disappointed he doesn't actually turn this round the corner, but it's hit very hard.
Well, Bakary Sagna returning from a 3-game suspension, a second goal of this season, and it is a picture book goal, a heavenly goal. A goal to give thanks for.
Goalie should save it, Peter. He should really. He's made some good saves already tonight, but I think his reaction when the ball come back out the net said it all. He knows he should have stopped that one, but it's a great strike again from Sagna, who continues to pour forward.
It's a long way back from here for Leeds now. Ten minutes to play until half-time. Danielson. Arshavin running at the heart of them. Good challenge by Bruce. By Johnson. Howson. Connolly. Snodgrass. Now by Gibbs. Doubling up with Song. Goal before half-time for Leeds would make it feel achievable again. Arsene Wenger sits a little more comfortably now. Snodgrass out as far as Sanchez-Watts. And Johnny Howson and Snodgrass. He's shaken off Arshavin. Gradle. Away by Koscielny. Howson and Johnson! Wow! Sensational goal! And it lifts the roof off Ellen Road. There ain't no stopping that.
It's a fantastic goal, Peter. Arsene Wenger's not happy, he feels there's a foul on Arshavin. But that aside, what a hit. When it came to Bradley Johnson, I'm thinking, keep it, keep it. Just pen him in a little bit, but he just decides to let rip with a thunderous shot that flies into the top corner. Goalkeeper, absolutely no chance. Fabulous hit.
It was a long way back for Leeds. It's a little closer now. And here goes Gradle for Leeds, and he's had a go. Game on.
Game on, definitely. It's just breathed some life back into the ground, bit of belief back into the players. This is Gradle again, he just lifts it, but just what the tie needed, because Arsenal were looking like they might run away with it. Arsene Wenger's not happy, he feels that Arshavin was fouled by Snodgrass down in this corner. The boys will have a look at that at half-time, maybe he was. But that aside, they had time to then deal with the situation, and they didn't. What a hit from Bradley Johnson, wow.
Well, Arsenal will now feel a long, long way from home. And here goes Painter. He's got his work cut out, and he won't quite make it. But truth be told, for 35 minutes, Arsenal were in complete command.
Absolute cruise control, no question. But that's how quickly it can change. Johnny Howson does well, he just rolls it across, and he will never hit a better one than that. Well done, son. It's a great strike, it really is. It's a brave strike, because it can go anywhere, that. But he's nailed it.
A once-in-a-lifetime strike. And Simon Grayson's team have a toe in the tie. More than that. Here the racket. Gradle. Held up by Koscielny. Samuel wins a throw.
It's amazing what it does to your goal. When you're behind and you're getting a bit of a chase in, and they certainly have been Leeds for half an hour, you get a goal, you get a lift, and all of a sudden you find a bit of energy from somewhere again. You get a little bit tighter to the man in front of you.
Bradley Johnson, Hackney-born boy, who as a youngster was with Arsenal. They let him go as a teenager. He went and did a carpentry apprenticeship. Got his way back into professional football with Cambridge and then Northampton.
He got his angles there, all right, let me tell you.
Yeah, he just missed the woodwork, the right side. Leeds, since Johnson scored that goal, have been leaping an inch higher and running a stride quicker. They can get in at half-time within a goal of Arsenal, and they'll believe it's still a possibility. And here comes Danielson for Arsenal. And Gibbs. And Shamak.
Difficult one for Billy Painter, that Gradle saying, can you hold it? But he can't, it's coming at him out the sky. All he can do is try and help it on.
Bradley Johnson, by the way, scored from 20-25 yards against Scunthorpe on Saturday. He scored 2 goals in 4 or 5 days from an aggregate of about 50 yards.
Done Leeds, they put Sanchez-Watt out on the left-hand side and push Gradle up alongside Painter to give him a little bit more support, but also to maybe just try and stem those runs from Sanya down that right side. which is so dangerous, and he's had a little bit too much room. Sanchez, what we know, is very athletic himself.
Nasri, Bentner, Sanya, Nasri. It's a goal kick. Arsenal themselves under Arsene Wenger in pretty good nick, and take out the League Cup semi-final defeat at Ipswich, which of course they can turn round, and since losing at Old Trafford in the middle of December, they've taken 11 points from 15 in the Premier League. Scored 3 in their last 2 Premier League away games. Shavin. Song. Gibbs. Sanya for Bentner. Nasri. He's still got it, Samir Nasri. Parker away. Juru dealing with Painter. Denilson slips and Howson's in there. Painter. Watt up alongside. Howson. Juru got a foot in the way.
Great run, Johnny Howson, brilliant. So nearly found Gradle. Good defensive work again from Juru, but terrific response from the home team.
Gradle now. Nasri tackling back and giving him a little help over, and Leeds have a free kick into the last 90 seconds of a first half, most of which they have spent chasing.
Yeah, exactly right. Max Gradle doing what he's done particularly well the last 10 or 15 minutes on the half-turn, receiving it, running at people. Now set this up properly, get a good delivery and get people running across it. Give the goalkeeper something to think about.
Robert Snodgrass for Leeds.
Well, he can hit them, Peter, we know that.
They've left only Parker back, all the way back. O'Brien is in the box. Bruce is in the box. Howson has a leap. Painter has bulk. And Snodgrass has to find one of them. Oh dear me.
And that's poor from him, he's better than that. That's a let-off as well. Manager knows it. It's one of those on reflection now, you're thinking, I'd just rather have fizzed it in there across the 6-yard box and let the big guys go and attack it.
Into what is going to be just 1 minute of stoppage time. Sanya tripped by Watt. This is likely to be the last offensive set piece of a really engaging first half. Nasri. Song. They couldn't keep it in. Painter wanted on halfway. Gradle didn't give it up, but Koscielny became aware of him. Sanya stopped on halfway. Half-time, it needs a breather. Terrific cup tie. The more so since Bradley Johnson scored his once-in-a-lifetime goal 7 minutes before the end of a half, which Arsenal until then had entirely bossed. Samir Nasri with a calm early finish, and Bakary Sagna with a scything strike, which Schmeichel got fingertips to, but couldn't keep from hitting the net. A cup tie which remains alive and kicking. Leeds 1, Arsenal 2.
Well done, lads, said Gordon Strachan sitting next to me. Indeed, well done, Leeds. Just when we thought it was kind of all over before half-time, or threatening to be, back they came into it. Plenty for us to talk about straight after the break. Two very fine examples of striking the ball with your laces. If that could be bettered, this was the only shot that could better it. What a strike by Johnson. Great cup tie unfolding here. We better just get straight into the goals. The worst possible start, wasn't it, for Leeds?
Well, it was, because the atmosphere was incredible throughout the half, but this knocked the wind out of their sails. Arsenal started brilliantly, and when they play the way they were in the first 15 minutes or so, they are so difficult to stop. And Nasri's been as good as anyone in the league this year.
He's a terrific player, and just a lack of concentration for the midfield player Johnson. He lets him run. He was behind him, he was goal side of him, and he thought his players were doing all right. If you watch it for this angle, I think the left back's too far out of this position as well. He could be recovering round. But at that point there, Johnson's got him. Now he thinks nothing's really going to happen here. But against great players, things can happen. If he jogs back quicker 5 yards, that's not a goal. We're not sure if that was meant that flick by Shamak or not, but the fact that Nasri knows and can see it pass was fantastic, and he relaxed when he went in there. Some people panic, but good players relax. But as I said, if Johnson had just come back 5 yards, Nasri wouldn't have ran there.
The second goal was always coming for Arsenal, you felt, and it duly fell to Sagna to put it away.
Well, he wins the initial challenge in his own third there, and you can see him overlapping here. Bentner runs through the middle. In the end, unfortunately for Andy O'Brien, he doesn't get the sort of clearance he wanted, and it lands at Sagna. Well, it's a cracking strike. I mean, Schmeichel will look at that and feel he should have saved it, because he kept them in the game with two fantastic saves earlier. So, but a wonderful strike, and when your fullback pops up with goals like that, then you have got a side.
In the build-up to the superb Leeds goal, we thought we saw a foul right down in this corner here. I thought Arsenal's going to be having a moan at that, but on reflection...
Well, he did have a moan.
Yeah, he did come out, but the fact is, Arshavin just wasn't strong enough. You know, when you're going to these situations and people are desperate for the ball, people have got to come in and get in the area and tag it. You just need to be stronger. And after that, it's just a wonderful strike. Good lay off the house in. It could have been short, but his right foot could have been too long, but he's just made the pass just at the right time.
I don't know anything about Johnson, but I know he's been practising that since he was 6 years old in the school playground. It's just the ones you dream about.
It's just perfect. I mean, we're right behind it, and it was in from the, you say sometimes it was in from the moment it left his foot. You could see the goalkeeper wasn't going to get there, and it was just curving beautifully into that far post.
But nobody ever doubts Arsenal's talent, but between the ears, you know they're kind of a bit fragile.
I don't know. I think sometimes as an emerging club, an emerging side, you've got to take a few hits to make you stronger. I've been at clubs where you have to have a few hits before you go in and win things. I don't think they're too far away for winning things. But I'll tell you what, Leeds are brave.
They're brave. I mean, we see them defending at the other end. The ball comes out and realise they've left two for two.
Manchester United don't even do that against them. Chelsea don't do that against them. Leeds are leaving 2 for 2 and saying, well, we'll not have too much of the build-up. When they win it back at the back, we'll play 2 for 2 up here. Unfortunately, it leaves you short in midfield, and that's what happened at the second goal, where they were wide open midfield. They didn't have a cover midfield player, and Bentner just ran right through them. If they maybe had one further back, that would have stopped the goal. But they're still a threat when the ball goes forward.
We'll be back shortly. Let's go to the break with another look at a quite marvellous goal. You won't see a better one in the Cup this season. Beautifully done, sir. Welcome back to Ellen Road, third round cup replay. It's Leeds United 1, Arsenal 2. Before we get into what promises to be a riveting second half, we want to spend a moment paying tribute to an iconic figure, to the passing of Nat Loftus, aged 85, last Saturday. Nat spent his entire playing career with Bolton Wanderers, scoring 255 goals in more than 450 appearances. A robust forward, he scored 3 cup final goals, one in 53 when Bolton lost to Blackpool, and then in 58 in the aftermath of the Munich disaster. He scored both goals as Bolton beat Manchester United, somewhat unpopularly at the time, 2-0 at Wembley. It was his controversial second against Harry Gregg. Entered FA Cup folklore. He played in the same England side as Matthews and Finney, scoring an impressive 30 goals in 33 games, winning himself the nickname as the Lion of Vienna after that heroic winning goal against Austria in 1952. Here back at Ellen Road, the players are making their way out again. It's going to be some second half. I just said to my friends here, next goal wins. Gareth said, unless Leeds United score it. I'm not sure. I think Arsenal might just fold a little bit if they get another one. Let's see. Let's join our commentary team again. Andy Townsend alongside Peter Drury.
And the noise, Adrian, that greeted Leeds' return to the field was, however predictably ear-splitting, still surprisingly ear-splitting. My goodness me, it almost hurts when 39,000 of them scream at once, as they did when Bradley Johnson scored the goal that breathed new life into a cup pairing which has, down the years, tended to go the distance. It's the 8th time these clubs have been paired together in the FA Cup, but it's their 15th FA Cup tie. 8 ties have now produced 7 replays. It went to 3 games in 1983, it went to 4 games, as Gordon Strachan will remember well, in 1991. And Gordon was also involved when Arsenal won a 4th round replay here in February of 1993. That went to extra time before Ian Wright settled it. Here's Nasri for Arsenal, and Song is in behind, and Schmeichel has made another critical stop.
Oh, Peter, I was just about to say Leeds need to pick it up where they finished the half, because they were ever so strong and they've started poorly, sloppily. They've got in very well, Arsenal. And if Schmeichel was at fault for Sanya's goal, he's rescued his team once more there. It's a great stop.
It's Nasri's corner. It's come out as far as Denilson, back in by Shamak. Parker out as far as Koscielny. And so lobbed one back in towards Arshavin. Now to Nilsson. Shamak went over, and Arsenal have a free kick. Connolly, the offender.
Yeah. Just had a little nibble there, Connolly. That's not an awful lot of contact, but just enough to see Shamak just hit the floor. Mike Dean saying free kick. Chance again here for Nasri. Make the goalkeeper work.
Nasri, who was the boss of this game for its first half hour. Behind its first free kick of the second half. And an extension in Leeds' wall. Nasri. Michael grabbed hold of it second time.
Came down a little bit close to that line, but he read it well, Kasper Schmeichel. It's a good free kick. It's got the required trajectory over that wall coming down. The goalkeeper's agile enough to move across and grab it.
Painter, Snodgrass, Painter. Snodgrass. Away by Koscielny and hit by Johnson. I did say once in a lifetime.
And he'd just be hoping that his team can reproduce, as I said, how they finished the first half. Lots of spirit, lots of heart. You've got to play They can't play risk-free football. I was going to say they've got to commit people forward to get back into the tie. Arsenal have got the ability to pick them off at times, we know that. They've just got to keep the belief and keep pouring them forward when they can.
Snodgrass in for Gradle. He's got a corner, or so he believed, from Koscielny. Referee's assistant has let him down.
Yeah, not too many complaints there from the white shirts, I think. That's about right. He's played well, Koscielny, tonight. Again, Snodgrass this time, as he can do with the left foot on the right-hand side. You see lots of players playing that way nowadays. Adam Johnson at City. It's useful because they got the ability to go down the line, but of course they can step inside on their favoured foot.
Shamak. Arshavin is furthest forward for Arsenal. Here he is now. Going back for Schmeichel, who has a monstrous clearance on him. Lovely touch from Gradle. Snodgrass. Watt. Snodgrass. He did have an overlapping fullback in Connolly.
He did, actually. I think he knew he was there, Snodgrass. He just thought he'd try and filter one into the striker and maybe get it back. It was the wrong option on that occasion. It was a good little run from Connolly. I think you don't want to deter your fullbacks from getting forward. If they are making good runs and have the room, then you've got to give them it.
By Snodgrass. Giroud towers over Gradle. Johnson. Too strong for Nasri. Here's Parker. Johnson over the top. Gradle, the pursuer. Giroud is quick and strong enough.
Yeah, very quick he is. Giroud is getting better. I'm impressed with him when I've seen him this season.
Winners of this home to Huddersfield in the 4th round on Sunday week. 4th round tie, that which can't fail to interest in one respect or another. If it's Arsenal, of course, it'll be heavyweight in terms of its historical resonance, Herbert Chapman and all that. If it's Leeds, then its local pertinence will be huge. You'll have read and heard a lot about Leeds being the northernmost outpost of the FA Cup now, after Newcastle, Sunderland, Middlesbrough all had a rotten 3rd round. Huddersfield is only just south of Leeds and a little way west, about 12 miles between them. Big rivalrous towns, and they would love a go at Leeds, Huddersfield, I'm sure. Lee Clark doing an excellent job there. Gibbs. Koscielny. Leeds by Bruce and through by Watt. Gibbs was aware, and Sanya can bring it back forward for Arsenal. An exchange with Bentner. Mantra of responsibility by Sanchez Watt, staying with his man. Alex Bruce. That's a lovely ball from the centre half. Gradle has skipped to the byline. Quite artful enough to get around Bentner the first time, but strong enough to win it back. Painter's going to have to retrieve. And it's an Arsenal throw.
Unlucky there. Max Gradle does ever so well. He just overruns it with his first touch, and then Bentner nicks it off him, then he robs it back and just over hits the cross a wee bit for Painter.
Gibbs. Snodgrass very tight to him.
Great work that, Peter. Full court press there on the Arsenal back four. Started with Watt to Gradle, Painter, then Snodgrass eventually forcing it out for a throw-in. Good play. Pressurising high up the park now. Very nearly getting that as well, Gradle.
Leeds attempting to do here what they did so effectively for much of the original game, and to a certain extent at least suffocate Arsenal. It's a very, very difficult thing to do. Nasri, who gives them air. Away by Parker. Danielson. Song. Danielson. Sanya. Parker kept it from Bentner. Sanya kept it in play. Shamak for Bentner, who this time has got away from Parker. He's face-to-face with Bruce. It's Marouane Shamak. It's Samir Nasri. It's Andre Arshavin. Oh, what a tackle by Snodgrass.
Brilliant. He's made up serious amounts of ground there, Robert Snodgrass, and it was a wonderful flowing Arsenal move once more. And it appeared that Arshavin, all he was going to do was just slide all that into the far corner before Snodgrass. Brilliant foot in to deny him.
Nasri for Arsenal. Danielson. Fighting it against Painter, behind for another corner. Robert Snodgrass with a tackle way outside of his job description. Leeds with more defending to do now. Nasri's take again. Bentner looking to meet it at the near post. Howson prevented it from going behind, but it is, or so he originally thought, but after consultation, corner has been given. Nasri again, Painter got his head on it. Bentner couldn't poke it back in, and the flag is up anyway for handball against the Dane. Arsene Wenger, the only manager left who can still win all four. Got a chance in the Premier League. League Cup semi-final to turn round. The FA Cup evidently on his agenda. And the little matter of Barcelona between him in the first instance in the Champions League. There'll be a hurdle or two beyond that if they can reach it. But Arsenal and Arsenal alone have the full set still available to them. Bentner. Sanya's gone outside of him. He's crunched away from Watt. He's exchanged with Shamak. Connolly was calm and teed up Schmeichel's clearance. Juru down. Howson first to it. Painter turning. Snodgrass with a slaloming run. Watt. Johnson. Howson. Sanchez Watt. Painter. Watt. Oh, got away from him. Came off Sanya and went behind for a corner.
Great stuff as well. Leeds just showing the Arsenal that they can play a little bit themselves. Good little interplay, good one-touch, good movement again, and forcing the corner.
It's Arsenal football from Leeds.
Yep.
In front of their cop, the Don Revie stand. Snodgrass with the corner. Being attacked by Bruce. Came out to Gradle. Lifted back in by Connolly. Bruce is still forward. Gibbs went high and long, and now Gibbs can chase up the return ball and take it beyond halfway. Foul by Watt. Shavin. At what stage, Andy, Leeds change gear? For how long do they just stay in the game, and at what point do they start chasing it?
Hey, look, they're chasing it already. I think they're doing it great as well. I think they're pressing high up the park when they're getting the opportunity to. Just got to be a little bit careful that when they're taking a breather, they take it collectively, because look, reinforcements are warming up as we speak. As you can see, Fabregas and Walcott and co are sprinting up and down the touchline, and when they come on, they'll make a difference, as they did in the first leg. And I think Leeds are doing great as they are so far. I really do, Peter. But you know, you're 2-1 behind in a cup tie to a very, very good team. You've got to go for it at times. You certainly have.
Forward by O'Brien. Flag was up, and here is Sagna for Arsenal. Hoofed high by Juru. And miscued by Johnson. Bentner. Shamak. And Song. And Arshavin. Oh dear, dear. His smile is a mildly embarrassed one.
I just wondered, maybe when it comes to him, it's not an easy one, that one, when it's running across you sometimes. And he skied that one. I just thought he might drop it back to Nasri, who's in a good position. He had some chances tonight, Arshavin, you know, Peter, to notch a goal. He really has.
Think of the player we saw perform so brilliantly for Russia in the European Championships only a couple of summers ago. Not quite sure that talent remains. He's going through a bit of a spell at the moment. Right, he's running through the Leeds defence at the moment, Arshavin. Totally had to shepherd it back.
So Alex Bruce, I think, has just took a bit of a knock in the middle of the park.
He played much of the first game on one leg, if memory serves.
He played very well as well. He was excellent in that first leg. He read it very well.
Dad's come to see him.
Yeah.
Must be immensely proud. Alex Bruce isn't the only one who's requiring treatment. Danielson also causing the stoppage. Third round Saturday was certainly a very mixed day in the life of the Bruce family.
And it's frightening when you look at that Arsenal bench, when you look at Van Persie, Fabregas, Walcott, Wilshere. So many options there who can come on and make a significant difference.
Incidentally, the face you might not recognise on the left there is James Shea, 19-year-old goalkeeper on the bench today. As he had to be at the weekend with Almunia and Fabianski unavailable. I would imagine there's a butterfly or two there, just in case.
Yep.
Shabin. Bruce saw it back to Schmeichel. Seem to remember using those words 15 or 20 years ago. Bruce sees it back to Schmeichel. Arshavin. Danielson. Gibbs. Nasri floated towards Bentner. Song inside the last half hour now. Nasri. Arsenal still looking to put the tie to bed, as they almost had in the first half before Bradley Johnson's sensational goal for Leeds, which keeps them in touch. Sagna. Bentner. Nasri. Rolled on for Song. Repelled by Howson. Moved on quickly by Snodgrass. Taken up by Watt. And he squeezed it forward for Gradle to chase. Fell conveniently into Szczesny's penalty area.
Just wonder how long before Simon Grayson considers making a change. I think Billy Painter has worked ever so hard. He's been plugging away. Just feel they could do with a little bit more movement there.
Nasri, Shamak. Bruce was solid. Came down for Arshavin. It's chased out now by Snodgrass. Running at Song. Johnson. Gradle. Gibbs is chasing back. Gradle's played it in. Painter! Couldn't apply the touch.
He's made a great run as well, Peter. Made a great run across the front of Koscielny. I thought all he had to do was just, maybe if you just put your studs on it. Look, he makes a great run. He's lost Giroud. Anything on that flies in the back of the net.
Third start for Leeds. 11th appearance, still no goal. From a centre-forward who was proven last year as a goal-scorer at League One level, Billy Painter. I feel here, once he gets one, he'll get plenty more. Andy O'Brien receiving treatment and a few instructions.
Oh, he pulls the cross, and it is a fabulous delivery from Gradle. Right in that gully. Look, you can see his foot. He just throws it at it. If he can just get a toe on that, he can quite easily end up in the back of the net. It's a good run.
Two of the last three goals he scored for Swindon last season were against Brentford, against Wojciech Szczesny, oddly enough. As I mentioned, 4 of the goals he scored last season were at Leeds. He scored a couple here in a 3-0 win for Swindon over Simon Grayson's team, which came immediately after the big cup tie at Spurs, which all formed part of that pattern of the FA Cup getting in the way of their league progress. But it would appear Simon Grayson may have to react to the problem that Andy O'Brien has here.
Bit of a hamstring, maybe.
There's a clear indication now coming from on field that the change is going to have to go ahead. So Kasper Schmeichel demands more, and those vociferous Yorkshire folk in the crowd demand more as well. Wonderful sight. Extraordinary sound. And in place of Andy O'Brien, an old warrior, comes a boyhood Leeds fan. A proper Yorkshireman. Lee Bromby. Played the last quarter of an hour at Arsenal. And will play the last 25 minutes here.
Substitution from Leeds United. Replacing number 40, Andy O'Brien. Number 26, Lee Bromby.
Like-for-like change for Leeds. Here's Howson, their skipper. And Bromby, for the first time, I was about to say, has one more thing that he can add. He is one of those around with a big long throw on him. So if it comes to that in the 93rd minute.
It's never easy coming on in a tie like this, Peter, because it's been a ferocious tempo. He's got bags of experience. Losing Andy O'Brien's cool head is disappointing, but nonetheless, Lee Bromby's been around for long enough and he knows what it's all about.
Although he's played much of his professional career in Sheffield with United and Wednesday, he was a Dewsbury boy. Just down the M62 from here, he knows Leeds inside out, and he used to pay to watch them. Leeds are preparing another change here, and an attacking one. David Sommer, who came on at the end of the original game for Becchio, is going to get a run here as well. Scored against Scunthorpe on Saturday. This time last year he was between loan spells at Chesterfield and Lincoln. And now here he is in front of nearly 40,000 at Ellen Road. In the case of Billy Painter, who's run hard without much reward.
Yeah, no, he's worked very, very hard. He's played his part in this performance. It's absolutely the right thing, I think, now to put on Sommer, some fresh legs, just a little bit different movement.
Snodgrass for Howson. Connolly. Snodgrass, beautifully done. Connolly for Leeds. And Son, with his very first touch, has screwed it wide.
What a chance, Peter, what a chance. It's a great 1-2 down the right-hand side, it really is, and it comes off his knee almost, I think, there, Sommer. If he could have just leant away from it, no, it just comes at him too quick. I'm just wondering whether he could have leant away and put his foot on it, but he just tries to throw his knee at it and knocks it wide.
Well, Leeds have made their 2 changes. Look who Arsenal have got to send on.
Yeah.
Arsene Wenger kept his aces up his sleeve and is preparing to deploy them.
That's where you can say, it's all right, lads, these 2 coming on ain't much cop.
Well, as you said, Andy, Fabregas and Walcott, in fairness, changed the dynamic of the first game.
They did. Again, and I think that also is a sign of how Leeds have made it difficult for Arsenal in the second half. Arsene Wenger wants to see his team get a bit more control of the ball, and that's why he's sending Fabregas on.
Rolled out by Howson for Snodgrass again. Had nowhere to go, and he ran into Gibbs, and Son can bring it away. Sanya. To Nelson. Bentner. That's a really good take by Sommer, but only having given the Song a little nudge.
Yeah, just give a little nudge. I think the 2 substitutes now coming on, Peter.
Substitution for Arsenal.
Just there, look.
Number 29, Mario Shaq. Number 4, Cesc Fabregas.
Well, here come those changes. And these 2 stellar players for Arsenal.
Second substitution for Arsenal. Replacing number 23, Andre Arshavin. Number 10,
Arshavin is being withdrawn, and so is, I think, Marouane Chamakh. He's waiting twitchily for confirmation of that. And here comes the skipper and the saver of the tie, Cesc Fabregas. And here also, running back into prime form, comes Robin van Persie.
Yeah, already Samir Nasri's gone out on the left-hand side where Arshavin was. Of course, Van Persie. Straight swap there for Chamakh, and Fabregas just in the hole in front of Danielson.
Danielson. Juru. Sanya. Fabregas. Song. Fabregas, twinkle toes immediately. Danielson, Fabregas.
Brilliant.
Terrific movement. Danielson can't give it him back, but is fouled. Free kick, plumb centre. Bromley protesting his innocence.
About his touch, as soon as he's come on, literally straight away, ball stuck to his feet. Just there, he's body checked, I think, Fabregas. That's what the referee gives the foul for.
And Persie walks away from the free kick.
Well, we saw a similar sort of range. Nasri test the goalkeeper a while back now. Fabregas already standing over this one.
He's a queue of 1 now. Just into the piece. Cesc Fabregas. It was pretty close.
And he was really scrambling that time, Schmeichel. He's had to launch himself because that's obviously close. The goalkeeper fully commits to that. He's always there, I think, but it's one that has him worried as he sees that appear over the top of that wall. He knows he has to commit to it.
There's always a goal in Arsenal, especially now with Fabregas and Van Persie on the field, but there's a goal in Leeds too. Got 4 at the weekend to become jointly with Watford the Championship's top scorers. They reached 50 in the league. They're fun to watch. Johnson. Parker. Foul on Bradley Johnson. Bromley wandering forward. Johnson dinking it in. Johnson again, and Gradle, and Johnson's gone outside of him, and Sanya has covered.
Lucky. He just didn't perhaps go quick enough there, Bradley Johnson.
And here comes potentially the first of those Lee Bromby throws. These have been effective for various clubs in the past. Hurled in by Bromby. Nudged behind by Bruce. Confirmation of the attendance this evening, 38,232. It is by nearly 5,000 Leeds' top attendance of this season. Means that over the 2 games, better part of 98,000 people have watched this tie. And incidentally, by comparison with previous similar games, FA Cup replays on this ground between Leeds and Arsenal, it's the highest ever. In 1983 they got short of 25,000, in 91 27,000, 93 26,000, 10 or 11,000 more people in this era than in those. Here is Bentner and Van Persie. Just might have taken Arsenal through. One flick of Van Persie's forehead. And Leeds have 2 goals to make up again.
Well, we spoke about Shamak and his aerial prowess in this team. It's a great ball in from Bentner. It's just clipped in. Look at Van Persie hang in the air, and he just steers that beautifully past Schmeichel. I'm not even sure if it's his first touch, Peter. But it's a great goal, and it's an important touch, because that may have just put it beyond Leeds.
Two goals at the weekend for Robin Van Persie, an FA Cup goal now in what is his first FA Cup tie since the semi-final of 2009 at Wembley. He was injured this time last year. He's starting to score goals as if he wants it to become a habit again. In the late winter spring of 2011. Arsenal with a 2-goal cushion, and Leeds with less than quarter of an hour to find 2 goals.
And the timing of the substitutes was perfect from Arsene Wenger as well. Because as soon as Fabregas come on, he's been on the ball immediately. And then you've seen what Van Persie can do given an opportunity. Great finish.
And in fairness to a not always appreciated player, really good delivery from Bentner.
Yeah. He's worked hard out on the right-hand side. Not easy for him, not straightforward for him playing in this sort of position. I'm sure he's happy to be involved. He'd much rather be down the middle, but it's a great ball in. Because he's had time to actually look for that one, Peter, see the run and just clip it into that area. It can be more straightforward sometimes when you're on the run. You just wrap your foot around it and just fire it into an area, but he's had to pick him out there, and he's done it ever so well.
almost a year ago. Leeds dragged Spurs up here for a replay, having done very well in North London and got beaten 3-1. And they are 3-1 down again. Having, once they got back to within 1 goal, rattled Arsenal once or twice. They might not quite be finished yet. Here's Gradle. And Snodgrass. Gibbs tackled and won the throw. Nicely through by Fabregas. And Gibbs looks to finish the flag. Was long since up.
Yes,
it'll be interesting to see whether Gibbs was the offending player, actually.
Nicholas Bentner the flag went up for. Pretty sure that Bentner was the one who just strayed a yard offside as the ball was popped through. You can see him closest to us. And Gibbs is miles onside. In all fairness, Peter, the linesman may feel that Bentner's looking to get on the end of that. He'd have waited just a split second more.
No dream moment for Sanchez Watt against his parent club. Lloyd Sam was unfit for the original game, but gets the last 10 or 11 minutes of this one. Summer signing from Charlton. Next time Arsenal fans see Sanchez Watt, they will be in their club colours again. That's Gradle. Parker. Lloyd Sam, who was actually born in Leeds. His dad was at university here at that time. They moved down to London. And when they settled in London, they became an Arsenal supporting family. So he is potentially of two minds in this scenario. Johnson. Dispossessed by Song. Bromby. Snodgrass. Nasri, Fabregas. Lovely touch from Danielson. Fabregas. In goes Nasri. And it's clattered clear by Parker.
Today's attendance inside Ellen Road, 38,232. 38232. Thank you for your fantastic support.
Fabregas.
Great goal again, good finish. It's a brilliantly measured cross from Bentner, and it's a great leap. I think he just drifts off of Lee Bromby. There you go, Arsene Wenger knows the importance of that one, because this Leeds team are very plucky, very honest. They keep on pouring people forward, and it was vital that Arsenal got that goal. Can't rest.
So Leeds have just about reached hell for leather time. There's no point leaving anything behind. And they have a free kick, over which again is Robert Snodgrass. And by Snodgrass, Szczesny has come. And Fabregas can carry it away and feed Nasri. One by Sam, and by Juru for Sanya. Steered forward by Howson, a little awkward for Sanya. Fabregas with an unusually clumsy touch. Howson. Didn't find Connolly with his pass. Gibbs bit it off. Fabregas, Van Persie ahead of him. Gibbs staying forward. Nasri going beyond the fullback now. Brumby across.
Substitution for Arsenal, replacing number 8, Samir Nasri.
So Samir Nasri, who set the Arsenal ball rolling. And he's given the last 7 or 8 minutes of the tie-off. To be replaced down the left-hand side, presumably by Clichy. Beautifully calm finish right at the start of the game from Samir Nasri. Clichy, who played right up to the quarter-final in 2005. There aren't many survivors. Fabregas is one of the 05 Cup run. Fabregas having taken the armband, not to Nielsen. Clichy was injured for the semi-final and final, the last time Arsenal won it. So he would be keen to have a decent campaign in this competition. 6 minutes away from progress. Arsene Wenger's record of never having lost in the third round would appear to be intact. And Mike Dean has gone to his pocket for the first time. Arsenal's not entirely sure why, nor Snodgrass. Both of them continue to protest. Snodgrass's name that was taken. Led off by Van Persie. Fabregas. Song. Clouted out again by Schmeichel. Gradle out by Juru. There goes Gradle again with great energy. Confirmation that it was Robert Snodgrass that was booked. I don't know whether he might get named in the next Scotland squad. He's been named in one Scotland squad in the past, had to pull out. Hasn't been selected since. Koscielny. Song. Danielson. Clichy's playing in front of Gibbs. Spread by Fabregas. Sagna. Danielson. Van Persie. Sharply taken. Quick twist. Robin Van Persie. Nice thought.
Unlucky. Great effort, wasn't it? Because he knows exactly what he's doing there, Robin Van Persie. Once he dips inside, he's going for that far corner. Right in the top of the goals, which will give Schmeichel no chance. Hits it well enough, he just doesn't curl it back.
To Nielsen, Fabregas. Song, Fabregas. Arsenal complete command now. Strangling the last bit of life out of Leeds into the last 3 minutes, just down the road from here. They'll be getting excited about the prospect of a first trip to the Emirates for Huddersfield Town. Foul by Johnny Howson. Huddersfield's first meeting with Arsenal since a League Cup tie way back in 1993, in which Ian Wright scored a hat-trick. And as I mentioned in the first half, it'll be a game of great historical interest for those with all the black and white pictures of Herbert Chapman. Free kick again against Howson, who's a bit wound up. Johnson's having his say too. And right at the end of a game that had no yellow cards in it at all, Leeds have picked up 2.
Yeah, it's just frustration there for Bradley Johnson. He's just booted it away. The referee's got no option but to card him, I'm afraid.
Forward by Bruce. And your Eon-sponsored man of the match, Andy Townsend.
I think tonight, Peter, it has to be Samir Nasri. Great goal again. He's just proving such an influential player for his team, and he's making this game look rather annoyingly easy at times. But another brilliant performance from him.
A finish without panic. Rescue from Gibbs. There are going to be 4 minutes added on at the end of the 90 here, which from Leeds' point of view might feel like a slightly unnecessary extension, unless they can snatch something pretty promptly now. Howson, Sommer. Things might have been different if that ball had cannoned in off his knee rather than wide. Foul on him by Song. Michael has waved everyone forward. It's a kitchen sink job for Leeds. Michael fires it in, up in the air off Van Persie. Bruce ducked under it. Song away. Bentner closed down. Has reached Lloyd Sam, who skipped away from Bentner. Sam's pulled back. Gradle would have shot, but for the alertness of Gael Clichy.
Very good play from Lloyd Sam. Lovely little nutmegs on Bentner down that, up by the byline there. Terrific play.
Oh, the goalie's going forward. All the fun of the fair in stoppage time. Gradle's take, Schmeichel's up, so was Szczesny. Snodgrass trying to lever it back in. Leeds do have a throw. Bromby's going over to take it. Schmeichel's reluctant to go back. Eventually he does disappear again, and Bromby's going to launch one. Hoisted in high. Bentner got his head on it. Back in off Van Persie, cleared by Juru. Now Leeds are light at the back. Song, Fabregas. 5-on-4 Arsenal. Here goes Clichy. Bentner. Song. Caught in possession. And here comes the white machine again. Snodgrass. Asking a lot of Sommer. Well, you have to say they've continued to believe.
They certainly have. I mean, look, we know this. Nasri, as I said, I thought played terrific. But Leeds have had their own players, I think, that have done excellent tonight. None more so than their skipper, Johnny Howson, I think, has been really, really good once more. Continues to impress.
To Nelson, Bentner. A tackle by Parker. He's freed Gradle. In by Gradle, and by Szczesny for Arsenal. 6 of whose next 7 games will be at home. They play Wigan on Saturday, Ipswich in the League Cup, then Simon Grayson, on the other hand, has to return to league action. He takes his Leeds troops down to Portsmouth at the weekend, and there are plenty of watchers of the Championship who believe they have a real chance of going all the way this year. Mike Dean's gone back to his book, and Howson, who has been repeatedly involved quite physically in these closing frustrating stages, is the latest to be shown yellow.
Yep, says Fabregas, it is, who just lets it roll across his body. I don't think there's anything that sinister in that, to be perfectly honest. I think he's only trying to stab a leg out to get something on the ball.
It's of little import now. The game is up. A minute of stoppage time to play. In the great scheme of things, Simon Grayson's irritation disappears beneath the disappointment of a result, which doesn't necessarily marry with a courageous Leeds performance over the course of 2 games. Fabregas. Lovely touch from Fabregas, rolled through for Bentner, whose run didn't dovetail with it. Schmeichel still hasn't given up, you know. He's belted it quickly towards Sam. Juru's header out, Cradle. The 4 promised extra minutes are up. Cradle still pirouetting. Mike Dean's had a look at his watch and considers that that should be the end of what has been a most enjoyable cup tie. Really, really good cup tie. But in the end, it's about players who make a difference. In the first game, Walcott and Fabregas made a difference. In the replay, Nasri, and then critically right at the end, Robin van Persie made a difference. And Arsenal, because of them, and despite Schmeichel, whose saves were numerous and excellent, Arsenal go through to play Huddersfield in round 4. Leeds 1, Arsenal 3.
There are 39,000 in here, I reckon about maybe 50 have left early, which tells you all you need to know. Great cup tie, as Peter said. 4 great goals to savour, even if we didn't get the upset that neutrals might have wanted. Plenty to talk about. Join us after the break. Leeds 1, Arsenal 3. So much to savour. Let's see what the 2 Arsenal captains, if you like, Cesc Fabregas and Samir Nasri, made of it.
Gentlemen, both the captains on the night. I'll start with you, Samir. Fantastic start to the game, another great goal from yourself.
Yeah, we wanted to start really strong. Don't let them believe or take confidence, and we did it well. We scored after 5 minutes, and after we tried to play our game, even if the pitch was a little bit difficult.
You certainly played your game. Cesc, you knew this from the first game against Leeds. They were always going to give you a hard contest tonight, weren't they?
Yeah, we didn't know much about them, but they played very, very well at the Emirates. But I think today we were much superior to them. At one point in the second half, they were dangerous after they scored. But I think Arsenal played fantastic football today.
You're in every competition still. This one just as important as the rest. You want to go all the way?
Yeah, of course. We want to win every competition, and the cup is really important for us.
And just finally, both the captains here tonight. If there are question marks about leadership, I think you've answered it, haven't you, between the 2 of you tonight, Cesc?
I think everyone. I mean, you know, you love speculations, but we are here to play football, and that's it. For me, leadership is what we've shown tonight. Everyone winning balls, everyone playing for each other. For me, that's football is about team. And Samir says, you know, we want to go all the way in every competition, and today we proved that.
Cesc, give the other skipper man of the match.
Man.
Yeah.
Congratulations, young player.
So it was a great cup tie and sort of no lasting harm done to anybody. You know, Leeds will hardly feel demoralised after that, and Arsenal march on.
They had everything. Great saves, great goals, good teamwork. What rate Snodgrass getting back and saving that chance there. The game had everything.
Gareth?
Oh, cracking cup tie, brilliant atmosphere. You know, Leeds always have a chance, as Fabregas said there, says Fabregas. Arsenal were much the better side, but Leeds were always in it because their supporters never left them. and it kept the tempo of the game. And
there's much nonsense talked about the 12th man, but it kind of applies here if it applies anywhere.
Definitely. I mean, they've stuck with them through all the divisions, through all the problems, and that's why they've got a chance.
When you got the role here, the atmosphere's absolutely terrific. You know, it really is absolutely terrific.
Let's have a look at the two Arsenal goals that could have taken the wind out of their sails, but didn't seem to.
Yeah, I mean, for half an hour we thought, well, this could be a bit of an annihilation because every mistake that Leeds made was punished, and maybe they got away with a few at the Emirates. Here, as we said at half-time, Johnson leaves Nasri, and the form he's in, he's just so comfortable in front of goal. And then the second one was a fantastic strike, Gordon, wasn't it?
Yeah, they've sucked him in the middle of the park, central again. He's unfortunate, Andy Bryan. He's trying to clear it, and it's a heck of a hit. It really is a great hit. But as I said, they had that problem that period. They're coming through the midfield, sucking full-backs in, the ball going wide. So you can see why Leeds, there's more goals in the Championship when Leeds are playing than anywhere else. They go for it. They really go for it, and that can be a problem sometimes. But I hope their bravery is rewarded at the end of the season because the Premiership is better with Leeds in it. There's no doubt about that.
Let's have a look at Bradley Johnson's goal. He'll be seeing it when he's on his bedroom ceiling when he goes to bed tonight.
For years, by the way. I mean, in the days of videos, this would have worn out by the end of the night, wouldn't it? But I mean, Arsenal had a complaint about a possible foul. We don't think it really was. As Gordon said at half-time, Howson's layoff actually is an undervalued part of that because any harder he can't hit it first time. And you could see he was lining up to hit it. Wonderful strike.
So it's known your players. Howson knows who he's passing that ball to. If it's right-footed player, he probably give it. He knows it's Bradley Johnson. He's great, but it could have been too hard where you have to take a touch. But no, way to pass is terrific.
So what will Leeds take into their next game with it? I can't imagine there being a hangover from this. Last season, of course, they had a nice little cup run.
There could be tired legs,
nearly ruined everything.
Yeah, there could be tired legs, and they could be mentally tired because that is some effort they're putting there just now.
And they also lost O'Brien, which is a disappointment to them. I don't know whether Kisnorbo is anywhere near to fitness, but O'Brien's been an important player for them. But they will take so many positives from the two performances, not just the one here, but the one down in London as well. So,
I mean, Leeds were defending, and then suddenly the ball had come out from Schmeichel, and you'd realise, wouldn't you, Gordon? They had two players standing on the other penalty area.
If this happened, and we had a great view from behind, any time the ball went into Leeds' 18-yard box, the two of these guys stayed up the pitch, and they were saying, right, OK, we'll take a chance, you try and score against us, but if we get the ball, it's going back up the pitch quickly.
Yeah.
Two good chances here. And funny enough, the stats don't say that's a chance, but it's a good chance. Good build-up, good play.
Actually, for all the excitement, these were the only times in the second half that they actually created anything, and it was Summer had just come on there. He did well to adjust his body, in actual fact, to get it anywhere near the goal.
There was another fine goal, the one that ended the tie effectively. Well, there were two elements to it. For all I could see, a great goal and a great finish, a great cross.
Well, it was. I mean, Bentner, who I don't think this is his best position by any means, but it's a wonderful cross. But when you see it from the other angle, the way that Van Persie times his run, he just delays his run. He doesn't get in there too early. And Bromby now, his body shape's wrong. He can't really see Van Persie. So he could have gone in front of him. He decided to just go a yard in front and then just peel off the back. It's a perfect pick out and a fabulous header.
From a defensive point of view, probably say maybe the right back could have tucked in a bit quicker and left no space for Van Persie to go. Then he'd have to go to the front post, and Bromby was waiting. If you look at it, the right back's a wee bit further ahead than the centre back.
Let's take another break, after which we'll be hearing from Bradley Johnson how he felt about that fantastic goal just before half-time. Join us shortly. Well, Leeds came second tonight, but it's their Bradley Johnson who's kind of the man of the moment with a brilliant goal just before half-time. Let's see what he made of it.
Disappointment, I guess, Bradley. You gave him another very good game, though, haven't you?
Yeah, well, we are disappointed with the loss. But like I said, we gave them a good run for their money, and I think we can take a lot of positives out of that game.
2-0 down, and you see the goal open up in front of you, and you just hit it. Have you scored many like that?
No, I ain't scored many like that, but I've scored from outside the box before, and I've been told if I get an opportunity to shoot, have a shot, because they know I can pull off things like that. I'll do it every day in training. I'll practice on my shooting, and luckily enough tonight it's come off for me, but we didn't get the win, so it don't count for nothing really.
When he's practising in training, do you think the juniors spend a lot of time picking the ball out of the forest next door?
Well, who knows? But that was an absolute cracker. When you dream of in a game, like, as he says, you want it to be the winner, and unfortunately, that's
what I was saying, Gareth. I said, I hope this counts as goal.
Yeah.
I really hope it counts this goal for something big. Unfortunately, it didn't, but I have that as a memory.
But it was the spirit of Peter Lorimer. I remember when I was a kid, he used to score goals like that all the time here. I don't know if he was watching tonight, but it was some effort, wasn't it?
Peter was one of the best hitters of the ball you've ever seen.
What do you think about Arsenal tonight? What have we learnt about them? I thought they might kind of frighten themselves to death once Leeds came back into view.
You're right, that was at that point where they are learning and dealing with things and dealing with pressure and staying and doing what they're good at. There's no panicking about there. You know, you're talking about leaders screaming and shouting. There wasn't anyone there, but they still handled it individually.
And Song, you thought was great?
I think he's the best defensive midfield player in the league. He actually goes in and takes ball off people and starts moves. Some people just go in and stop moves and dismiss the ball, but he does it all.
Yeah. And can Leeds go on from this? I think they're going to be in the mix, as it were.
Oh, definitely. I mean, they're 6th in the Championship, but they're only 3 points off an automatic spot. So I would think there's a great chance they'll get one of those 2 places. OK, gentlemen, thank you very much. We three meet again on Saturday week. We'll be in Southampton for live coverage of the 4th round tie between Southampton and Man United. Starts at 4:45 on ITV1 and ITV1 HD. Then we'll be heading up to Nottingham for Notts County against Man City on the Sunday lunchtime. Thanks for your company. Well done, Arsenal. Well done, Leeds. Have a good evening.
One city, one club. You know when you're in Leeds. Nasri's in here for Arsenal and scores. Janak, oh, what a save that is. Bakary Sagna has hit a screamer.